Hello, my name is Christine, and this is my sister Michelle, the night before she died, hugging my aunt at the surprise 60th birthday party that we had for my aunt and my mother. The next morning, my mother called me, and I knew instantly something was wrong. And since that day, 23 years ago, my life has never been the same, and neither has my family's. I'm sharing this with you because unless you have lost someone suddenly, you can't understand what it's like, how it changes your life, how it changes your family's life, how it changes you as a person until if you have the unfortunate circumstance of losing someone you love. In my case, my sister was 27 years old. She had done some incredible things. She was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. She was the youngest one uh, ever put on the team. She was on MTV's Road Rules Europe show. She was a beautiful, kind hearted person. And on that afternoon, the next morning after the party, as she and my cousin were driving back home, a teenage driver who was driving his mother, she was in the passenger seat, on a rainy afternoon, lost control of his car. They hydroplaned. Their car crossed the grassy median and hit my cousin's car head on. Their car was bigger and heavier than my cousin's car. And from what we were told, my sister and my cousin died instantly. The mother and her son survived uninjured, uninjured physically. Anyway, we were told that the mother got out of the car and was able to get into the door, the passenger side door where my sister was in the passenger seat, and she held my sister while they waited for an ambulance to arrive. So when someone gets hurt or killed in an auto accident, it's not just a tragedy for the family that loses the loved one. It's a tragedy for everyone involved and for the circle of friends and the community around them. That boy's life, his family's life, was forever changed. He has to live with the fact that not knowing how to respond appropriately in a situation where that car was hydroplaning cost two people's lives, that he was the driver of the car that did that. And in my perspective now, so many years later, and having two children of my own, one who just got his learner's permit, that's absolutely tragic. It's horrible. I can't imagine being the parent of someone who causes the loss of life like that, that what my son would have to live with for the rest of his life. So when when teenagers are considering whether to take the Teen Driving Solutions school and the course that they offer or supporting the school, this is why it's so important. Because when my son finished his driver's education at school, I was horrified by the lack of any real world skill being imparted to him as a new driver. He was completely unprepared beyond knowing the answers to the test for the driver's license and the learner's permit. He was not feeling confident in his ability to drive. And having recently gone through the course with him in the last 60 days was completely life-changing for both of us. He gained so much real world experience, hours and hours of learning how to control and regain control of a car that has been out of control, driving off the road and back on, and knowing how to do that safely without overcorrecting. As a parent, I got to do the same things. When I was growing up and I got my license, I was never given the opportunity to practice real world situations that could turn into emergencies, accidents, crashes, or fatalities. And so I was so grateful to have that experience and have that experience with my son. Not only do I feel a lot more confident in his ability to drive safely and keep himself safe and anyone else he's driving while he's in the driver's seat of a vehicle, and keep him safe from other drivers that don't have those skills, that are maybe the average teenager through no fault of their own loses control of their vehicle and inadvertently causes harm or death to someone else. I feel so much more comfortable with him driving at all. And also when I'm in the passenger seat and he's driving, I'm no longer terrified to be in the car. For me, having lost my sister and my cousin in a car accident, and one that was most likely preventable. I feel like the real world skills and practice that the teenagers and parents get at the TDSS course is really incomparable. And it is an absolute necessity, especially with things like TikTok challenges where your teenager is supposed to be cool for your teenager to drive 100 miles an hour and take a video of the speedometer doing that, or getting into a car with a teenager who might have been, or a young person who might have been drinking, or they might be drinking. There's so many things that can go wrong even if you're a responsible person, if your teenager is a responsible teenager, there are so many things that can go wrong. It's so important for me to equip my son, and when my younger son is old enough to drive, equip him with the skills, the knowledge, the skills, and the mindset of how to handle a car, and why it is so important to be skilled at driving. Because the bottom line is a car is a 5,000-pound weapon. People get concerned about gun safety, which you should be safe with guns, absolutely. But I feel like there's far too little emphasis placed on driving safely, understanding that your car is a weapon that can kill and harm more people than just the people that were in the vehicle. Every day since having my children, I've had in the background a sense of dread of losing one of them. And I think that's every parent's fear. The difference is there are some of us that have been through a loss so devastating, we understand what it means to lose someone. I barely made it to the other side of losing my sister, and you can tell even 23 years later how difficult It is for me how much I miss her. And I would give anything to have her back. And we understand the toll it takes. And it's not something I would wish on anyone. And to lose a child, I feel like is an incomprehensible amount of pain. So I want to give my son, and if TDSS, their mission is to save lives, if they can, the more kids and parents who are equipped to handle unexpected situations while driving, the safer the roads are going to be, the more lives will be saved. And maybe a situation like my sister and my cousin were in won't happen or won't happen as much. And I certainly don't want my son to ever be in the driver's seat of a car that loses control. So I'm going to do everything I can as a parent to equip him with those skills, to equip him with the right mindset, to know what to do in unexpected situations. So for me, with what I have been through, what I live with every day, the cost, the tuition for the driving course was a no-brainer because I would give anything to have my sister back. It's a no-brainer to make sure that this doesn't happen to my son as much as I can, or that he isn't the cause of the kind of pain that I live with for someone else. So I encourage you parents to explore more about the TDSS course, to understand your importance in the participation of it, and really know how much you are going to get out of the course, how much your teen is going to get out of the course and the real world experience that you both have. And frankly, it was a great bonding experience for me. With a teenage son, sometimes that can be kind of hard to do. Um, it was an absolutely wonderful experience, and I could not say enough good things about the instructors who were there, Dan Wagner, the vision he has, and it's why I'm volunteering with TDSS now. So I hope you will take advantage of this really important resource that you have to equip your children to be ready for whatever they experience out there on the road, whatever they encounter. And thank you for listening. Blessings to you.